gonna make sure this is recording. Yeah, it is. Cool. And I am going to pick up B, so I'm gonna record vlog number 2 for this month, which I'm super excited about. But I'm gonna start with a question. This one's from the Great Gnocchi. You've mentioned your hallucinations and what they're like if there is sensory overload, but what is it like without that? And also pre-medication, what was it like? If you're comfortable with answering, that is. You guys can stop putting that, the whole if you're comfortable with answering. It's going to be pretty hard to find questions I'm not comfortable answering. And if that is the case, I just won't answer them. Basically, if you want, you can drop the formalities and the worrying about, offending me. I'm asking you guys for questions. I'm not going to be offended when you give them to me. But okay, so the non-sensory overload hallucinations are actually very similar to the sensory overload ones. Sensory overload hallucinations tend to be more simplistic. I'll hear voices, like I'll hear my name being called, or I'll hear people arguing in the distance. And the visual hallucinations tend to be just little things, like a wall will look like it's made of liquid, or something will appear to be pulsating or something. Stuff like that. That is the most common hallucinations I get normally, but ones I get as well are things like seeing cars that aren't there, like a car behind me that just isn't there and it just snaps out of existence, or seeing certain individuals that tend to be repeating individuals. I see a lot of creatures, monsters and such not, which I've learned to just ignore. But pre-medication, my schizophrenia is kind of not typical. It's atypical in that it started when I was very young. My childhood, I saw monsters all the time. Like, I just would see monsters in my woods, in my yard, walking through my school. And I didn't understand, I had these delusions associated with them where I knew that no one else could see them. I knew they were real, and I knew that if I told anyone about them, it would put that person in danger. And that's why I never talked about it. I just acted like it wasn't there. And as I got older, I started trying to kill these monsters, which was interesting. I mean, it's done a lot of things in my life. It's changed. It's that period of my life where I was out killing imaginary monsters really set a lot of structure and really built a lot of who I am. Like, I tend to be, in everyday physical life, I tend to be kind of reserved, but I'm fiercely protective of people I've decided I care about. And I think a lot of that comes from there. It's interesting because at that time, there's times in life when I kind of wished that part of my life had never ended, which, seems terrible, because it was a terrifying world. It really was. But there was this really strong sense of purpose. It's this, I have to kill these monsters or they're going to hurt me and the people I care about. And there's something beautiful in that simplicity, that black and white view of the world. It doesn't leave much room for judgment, or, it's just, I do this and the things I love continue to exist. I don't do this, the things I love do not continue to exist. So while the day-to-day, the moment-to-moment was a lot more stressful and terrifying, the overarching plan of life was much simpler. It was very to the point and focused. And there's some kind of beauty in that. And there's times when I think back to that and I kind of miss it. It's like every day I would prove to myself that I had value and that I was important. And then, fast forward, and I find out this is a disease, and I need to medicate it. And what I've, come to understand is on a day-to-day, it's hard to look at my life and be like, I am making a big difference. And I know that I do make a difference in people's lives. I understand that on an intellectual level. But it's like the difference between, pushing a woman out of the way of an oncoming car and consoling someone after a bad divorce. Both of them make a difference in people's lives, but one of them is a more obvious physical impact. It's I stop their life from ending, not I improve their quality of life. And there's something to be said for that. I'm kind of get off topic there. But when I'm off my meds, it's not actually the hallucinations that's the worst part. Because, quite simply, the hallucinations, 99% of the time, I know it's not real. And so I just don't react to it. The real issue with me being off meds comes from the paranoia. Because paranoia is, clinical paranoia is devastating. I mean, it affects every aspect of your life, and it can really, really mess you up. It can be very, very dangerous. For example, I would, drive, and a car would be behind me, and I would just suddenly know that person in that car is following me because they want to hurt me. And so I would start driving erratically as hell. I mean, just faking a right turn and taking a sharp left. Driving around at way too fast, cutting into back roads to try and lose this person that I decided was tailing me. And, there's been times when I've been so sure that there was a group of people watching in various cars that I spent a good 45 minutes driving through back roads to try and lose these people. I mean, the cars I couldn't even see, just I knew that they were there, is how it felt. So I spent, 30, 45 minutes driving back roads to lose these tails before I went home so they wouldn't know where I lived. And, that's honestly one of the less harmful things that's come out of the paranoia is that particular story. But it's to the point I become a very big danger to myself, and the part that really tears me up is I become dangerous to others. Not in a overt, I'm gonna punch you in the face way, but in a, my actions can become reckless, and that can endanger others, driving erratically, things like that. Deciding I have to turn my headlights off in the middle of the night, because if I don't, that person watching out for me will know I drove past, things like that. They're incredibly dangerous for both myself and others. And honestly, I can deal with hurting myself. That is something I can get past, but hurting someone else isn't something I can deal with. So, that's the biggest threat of going off medications. I also tend to, the anxiety gets ridiculously high, partially because of the paranoia, and partially because, my natural anxiety isn't being kept in check, and I have trouble functioning, doing anything. I will spend the day just jumping from task to task and accomplishing nothing, and I just won't leave my house. Honestly, if I weren't on medication, I would probably leave my house once a month to go pay rent, and I would order everything else off Amazon. And I know that's not hugely different from now, but I make an attempt to get out and about now. I try to have weekly game sessions at the friendly local game store, specifically to, force myself into social situations. So, that's I guess that's a little diatribe about medication. Yeah, so, I started working on the podcast today, actually putting together things. I'm really, really happy with how it's coming along. And I want to do an advice segment. So if you have questions you want advice for now, just email me at icynewyear@hotmail.com. If you want to include a voice clip of you asking the question, that'd be awesome. If not, I mean, just, yeah, I'm looking for, I want to do an advice column. And be it serious problems or jokes, I mean, whatever. I just want to have fun with that. I got a great name for it. I'm going to call it Advicey New Year, because that is, like, one of my favorite things I've ever come up with. But yeah, so, I'm eventually going to, I have a spare phone number, and I'm going to eventually set that up so that people can call and leave a message for a question. Because it doesn't actually ring at my house, it just goes to voicemail and then sends the voicemail to my email. So, that is something I think I'm probably going to do. I will, I don't remember the phone number off the top of my head because I haven't used it in like a year. I don't know. Keep an eye on my vlogs. I'll try to remember to say that phone number on the next one, because that's actually all set up. I just need to put it out there. Keep an eye out for tweets, and I'll probably talk about it in the next vlog and put the phone number out there. I don't remember it, and I don't have it written down with me, so, yep. Other than that, yesterday I spent the day pretty much just, editing and rendering and uploading, because I had a big backlog of, raw footage, and that was cool to get that all taken care of. And today I played a bunch of Gary's Mod, a little bit more Shovel Knight, so those are coming soon. And, oh yeah, Crumpet and I set up the server for, Ant Farm, which Ant Farm Survival, I don't remember what it's called, but I'm really excited about that Minecraft map. That's going to be cool. Other than that, I got a new recording machine. I'm still going to be using my computer to play games on, but I bought Grey Ghost's computer off of him because he's getting a different machine. And so, with that, what I'm going to be doing is, and I'll make a video of the whole setup once it's all done. I have to pick up something. I'm trying to remember. I have to pick up like an audio cable I need, and find where I put my Wi-Fi card. Because like that machine doesn't really need internet much, but I need it for some updates and to install some software and such. But so basically, I have my HD PVR, and that's hooked into my new recording rig. And what I'm gonna do is, one of the monitors from my gaming machine goes into the HDMI goes into the HD PVR and then back out into the monitor. So it has a pass-through there, so I can still see on that screen fine, but it'll be recording to the recording machine. I'm really excited about it. It's really going to increase workflow, and it should get rid of some of the framiness issues I have. There's a couple games I've had to play on less than stellar settings because I'm recording. You know, it works fine when I'm playing without recording, but once I'm recording, I get frame issues. So I'm really excited about that. The biggest thing is it's going to let me, be able to continue to do things on one machine while the other one is rendering. Because I can still record on my main machine, so I could, be like, okay, well, set up this batch render of 20 videos, and now I can also record at the same time. As opposed to before, where it was like, okay, this is dead time, I can't record during this, etc. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that's pretty much all I'm going to go over today. But yeah, thank you, Great Naoki, for the question. As always, guys, if you have questions, put them down below. And have a great day.